Ja, daar is hy.
Ja.
Alles loop nog. Hey,
Wag, nog nie.
Okay, wag
Nog 0 kykers. Ja, wag. Ja, ek wil nie 'n grappie vertel as niemand daar is nie.
Okay, kom ons check.
Kom ons kyk. Ons wag.
Ja.
Hulle is laat.
Ek weet. En Sean het my gebel. Hy het gesê
My ook. Hoorie, het jy vir my 'n grappie?
Ek het vir jou. Hey, Whitey.
Yes.
Check hierdie in, dude. Okay.
Ja.
I want to die peacefully in my sleep, like my grandfather, not screaming and yelling like the passengers in his car.
Hey Chris.
Yo, Whitey.
Why did the math book look so sad?
I don't know.
Because of all its problems.
Oh,
Hey Chris.
yes, Whitey.
To be fair, taxis are also hard hit. They have been told they may only carry 100% capacity, down from 200%.
No way.
Ja.
Hey, Whitey.
Ja.
I failed math at school so many times, I can't even count.
Alright, gaan ons live gaan.
Hey, Whitey.
Yes. Ja.
My wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. I had to
Why?
put my foot down.
Kom ons gaan live.
Lekker, kom ons hier dit ou.
This is the cinema. Have some respect.
Just remember, you're not alone. I know these two guys that are home alone. Two guys with the greatest guess.
You again.
Entertaining at its best. Grab your coffee, grab your dress. It's the white tea and Christian. It's a pro.
Yes. Good evening everybody. Goeienaand, welkom hierso by nog 'n episode van SA Bros. Hoe lyk dit wel?
Dude, lekker. Ek het 'n lekker lazy dag gehad. Dis so bly die koud. Ek wil regtig niks doen nie, but you know what? Ek's excited. We've got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys.
Yeah.
We are going to be traveling quite a bit to get the shows that you guys have been asking for and the shows that we've been working for. But first up, it's Monday night, and I know Whitey's been waiting a long time for this one. Bro, it is rugby royalty.
Yeah.
Joke nie is nou.
The hattrick king, as he was
The
known
hat-trick king, bro.
back in the day. One of the only people, I can't think of another Springbok that's ever scored 3 tries against the All Blacks in one game. I really, maybe I'm speaking under correction, but I really don't know who else has done it.
Ja,
Anyway.
en by watse game was dit?
Dit was in 1981 in September teen die All Blacks in Auckland.
Yes,
New Zealand.
en wat het hulle game genoem?
A flower bomb game.
Well,
But we'll chat to Mr. Ray
Yeah.
Mordt about it just now. So let's
Yes.
say hello to everybody quickly. Nikki, Pamela, Warwick, Takbok, Susan, Andre, Michael. What's up, julle? We hope you guys are
Kunjani.
ready. Yeah, we hope you're ready. Ek het selfs my Springbok hemp met die ou
check.
Springbok logo op.
nee, jy represent daar, bro. Ek like it. Daai is soos 'n rugby league game.
Yep. Maar hier is yeah. Anyway, so guys, let's start continue. Hello Vincent. Let's bring in for Mr. Ray Mordt. Ray, good evening, sir. Welcome to the Bro family. How are you doing?
Yeah, good evening, gentlemen. It's a real honor and a privilege to be with you guys. And just one thing quickly, Marius Jabez scored 3 tries against the All Blacks at Ellis Park.
There you go. So I was correct.
Okay.
Thank you. So there you go.
There's one other Springbok that's done it. That shows you how many years it took before they had to find one guy that could do it.
Yeah,
It's gonna
exactly.
come again. It'll come again.
It'll come.
Yeah.
Hey, the way that the Boks are playing now, you know what? I think it's the way South Africans are. There's something in the water. These Oaks are getting mega big, mega strong, mega fast. It blows my mind. If you look at high school rugby now, how fast and big some of these lighties are now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're quite incredible. But look, as the world says, the breeding ground of the world rugby players, it comes from our top schools.
Yeah.
So hence that we lose quite a bit of them. They get scouted quite early in the years. But our schools, our top schools, our rugby teams, for instance, Grey Bloem. I mean,
yeah.
I think last year they were the best rugby school team in the world. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you see. And it is, like you said, it's very sad that we lose a lot of the kids to overseas players. When the Springboks won the World Cup now and they did that victory parade when they came back, Eben Etzebeth took a picture with a lighty, I think it was at Kes, that was a half a head taller than him, and he was only in standard 8 or grade 10.
Yeah.
And that picture obviously has gone viral because he plays first team rugby, and somebody like the French or the English or the Japs will pick him up very quickly. If you get a 7'3" lighty that's that big already, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's so true, man. I mean, I know last year's Craven Week players, that the two top fly halves were scouted by French teams, but apparently they both stayed behind now because of this COVID. So there has been a bit of positiveness because people haven't had the chance to move. So I think these two talented youngsters are staying within South African soil. So that's going to be fantastic. I mean, just mentioning that World Cup last year was something incredible. I was very, very fortunate to be over there at the semi-final and the final. So it was amazing.
Oh, wow. That must have been an experience. Sorry, Chris, I just want to be corrected properly. Michael McLeod, there you go. He says it was Jubara, Banner, and yourself that scored a hat-trick against New Zealand. So there you go. A hat-trick of people that scored hat-tricks.
Brian scored 2 tries. He didn't score a hat-trick. But
he didn't?
No, Brian didn't score. But Brian, well, he's one of our great players.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, Ray, what do you think about the way that how are schools integrating rugby, or how are they adding to rugby for the world from South Africa's side and from the youth? Do you agree with the way the guys are running stuff now and getting these amazing players in?
Yeah, look, I mean, if you look at it, we have some tremendous coaches at our top rugby schools.
Yeah.
We mentioned Paul Roos, Paul Jim. There's quite a few top schools, and then we mentioned Uffies, and we mentioned Monument, and we mentioned Great College, and there's others. And what's amazing is that there's some brilliant coaches out there coaching these young boys, and the South Africans are I love the culture of the South Africans and the Afrikaners that have been brought up with, they have this disciplined culture, and they're naturally very strong people. And you see the brand of rugby the school teams are playing, all schools, by the way, is tremendous. I mean, I love watching, sometimes I enjoy watching school boy rugby more than I do watching some of the provincial games. So, well done to the coaches that are coaching these boys. But and then after school, it's where we lose a lot of the players. Some of them stop playing. Some of them get scouted and go to the top unions. And so there is a bit of a talent that gets lost. But look, if you look at our rugby since we've come back from our isolation, we've won 3 World Cups, which is quite amazing, guys.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I was 13 years old, and I was at and we for the Ellis Park '95 World Cup final. We just came back out of isolation, as you said, and we took it. Now that's incredible.
That was incredible. When I always look back and we look at the team that I played in, and I think if we stretched it, we could have possibly played if out of isolation, we would have probably played in the 87 World Cup, the first one ever. We beat the All Blacks in 86, the Cavaliers. I wasn't playing, but the South African team beat them, and then of course the All Blacks went on the next 87 to win the first World Cup. So you never know. We could have maybe had fourth, but there's no ifs in life. At that time, our country wasn't in a position to do it. So we've moved on, and in '95, what an amazing team! Kitch Christie and Mornet du Plessis and Francois Pienaar, and the rest of the team was just amazing World Cup.
Yeah. You know what? I think that game cemented those guys' names in South African history, not just rugby history. I know everybody I know. You can say Francois Pienaar or any of the old box, and the guys know exactly who you're talking about. A lot of the younger players, the guys don't even know, but those guys, and it's not every World Cup's guys, but definitely 95's World Cup, those guys they're immortal now.
Yeah, look, the big thing is all of them were very special players, and we lost two fantastic guys in James Small and Chester Williams. Yeah. They were amazing guys. But that team really, with Kitch Christie and Mornet du Plessis is always going to be an icon, and Francois Pienaar and Kitch Christie in South African rugby. I mean, we forget Kitch Christie coached the box 14 times and had 14 wins. It's a 100% record.
Correct, 100%.
That's flawless. Yeah,
that's flawless, So, all those guys, you start from the whole team. You can go Peter Hendricks, Jaapie Mulder, Henny Leroux, Barley Swart, Quibus Visa, and Chris, all of them, James Dell. There's so many of them, Hannes Stradum. So they just all, and they all stand up good guys, and they carry themselves well. I think 90% of them are good role models. Some of them are naughty. But overall, they're people that you can idolize and you can look up to. Yeah, and that's important. One thing is to play rugby. It's amazing to play the game, but the people have to realize that people are looking at you, and you need to carry yourself well outside of the game as a human being and as a person, and be humble and ethical and have integrity.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, some of them were a bit naughty and pushed the boundaries. But you know what? We're all still boys. We're all still...
But listen, that's what I'm interested in. Because the other night we were making knives with Andre Klute, man, from...
Peter Klute.
Peter Klute. And he's also an old rugby player. And we spoke about
Yeah, he played for Transvaal. And,
Peter.
Yeah, we did knife forging with him. And he actually said... We must send regards to you. Yeah. There you go.
No, Peter was a tremendous player. He played for Romania, I think, 8th man.
Yeah.
And he was a tremendous player. But the rugby's changed so much. From the days we played to now, it's a professional game. Yeah. The style and it's changed tremendously. I think it's very, very different. In a lot of ways, people probably enjoy more of it now, but and then people always try and compare teams with other teams, and you shouldn't, because it's different eras, different style of games. The game's turned professional. I'm so happy for that, because these players put their bodies on the line, and they give it all out there, and it's a tough game, because after your career, I can assure you, as you get a bit older, you start feeling the aches and pains.
Believe you.
And like you said, back then, it wasn't not just the style of rugby, but the rules were different as well. A try was 3 points.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you had to work your ass off for 3 points, when you could just do a penalty for 3 points as well. So
that's why it was called a try, dude. It's
a three.
Yeah, it was 3.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, look, it's become, like I say, it's become so professional, and they can see if you've scored a try, if you haven't scored one. Where the game has changed a lot now, which is important, because there's so much money. I mean, rugby's an industry in the world today. It's bigger than business. There's so much money involved in it, so it's important. Same as soccer, it's important, and they're still getting it wrong. Soccer more so than rugby, but it's so important to make sure that the correct decisions are made, because it costs mainly coaches their jobs. And
absolutely,
because the first person they hire is coaches. So when there's tight games and it's just on the edge, at least they've got help with the TMO.
Look, with this last World Cup, I know that And here's another thing that the guys have got to contend with now is the media. And I remember our Oaks were like nailing Faf about always kicking the ball away and this cock. And they'll play one game and the next day there's memes and stuff going around. And so the media, I think, plays a huge part in the like sub-psychology with the people today. How do you feel about that?
That's such an important factor you just mentioned. The media and newspapers. But then you've got to give credit to the coaching staff. You've got to give credit to a guy like Rassie Erasmus. He knew what he wanted his players to do. He had taken these players so far, and it wasn't a time to change. So if I can elaborate on this, if I go back in 1995, when Kit Christie had the team, when the World Cup, before the World Cup started, he had his squad of 30, 32 players or whatever. Yeah. And him and his management team basically told the 15 players that were going to run onto the field for the main games. That you like the A team, and unless you get injured or your performance is drastically bad, you are going to be playing. So they knew where they stood in that. For the 6 weeks, they knew who was the A team. And I think Rassie had a similar plan where he knew that he was going to play this 50, 55 minutes or 50 minutes and bring on.
Yeah.
And like Chris said, with the are we still there?
Ons het hom verloor, ja. Maar ek seker hy gaan nou terugkom, man.
He did speak about the power that might go there. So I wonder if that didn't just go.
I don't think that's a power. I just think it's just a connection, man.
Connection.
Yeah, for some reason. But dude, instantly, ek wou nou juist begin lekker kak praat met hom, Ray, want ek wil hoor wat se shit het daai ouens aangejaag en daai daar, want ons het nou al gehoor wat sê die ander ouens. Ek
het stories gehoor. Ek weet nie of dit ek en jy saam was wat ons, ek wil dit nie nou noem nie. Daar saam met hom Pieter toe hy vertel, of iemand het ons vertel iets wat daar by die 81 game gebeur het, en ek wil graag weet of dit so is soos wat hy daar noem nou.
Yes. En ek wil hoor soos wat die rituals wat hulle by weekend gedoen, want obviously die clubs almal het hulle eie staf wat hulle doen. En dan jy weet soos wat ek sê, rituals, man, net kak aan jaag. So, en ek bedoel, Ray was daar so, hy het in Wigan gejol in Engeland, vir een van hulle clubs, voordat hulle, obviously, het hy vir Rhodesia ook gespeel, of Zimbabwe nou.
Ja, jy sê SPG.
PG Paradigm, as ek kind, dude. Ons het nou net vir Ray Mordt verloor, maar ek seker ons gaan hom nou terugkry.
Weet jy, wat ek wou gesê het is, toe wat jy nou daar genoem het, oor die ding van die media. The media did, and because South African people are so passionate about their rugby, as jy aanjaag, then they will let you know about it. And now with the whole media, everybody jumping on Faf for the kicking. Rassie could have easily backed down and said, okay, weet jy wat, bow down to social media pressure and say, okay, Faf, hope score. But in the end, that worked. It worked, and we brought home the gold. And we, for the very first time, how many records did we break at the World Cup final? First country to ever score a try in a final. First country to score 2 tries in a final. Things like that. I was like, Iso, let's try again.
Yes.
Hello?
Ray, you back?
Awesome.
I'm back.
Sorry, man, we just missed you there. But to get you back on it, we were talking about how the media plays in with everything that's happening psychologically to these players, you know?
Yeah, and if I can just finish there, and I think that's why you've got to give so much credit to Rassie to sticking to his game plan. And actually, if you look at that World Cup, it was so fantastic because when you look at what South Africa did, we outthought the rest of the teams all over the world, you know, with great coaches like Hansen and Eddie Jones. Rassie came out tops, and that was just amazing. It was one of the better World Cups that we've won ever. You know, all of them are good, but the way we went about this one was amazing. And you know, I don't care any team that would have met South Africa on that day in the final. There was no chance. We were going to win it. They were so well prepared.
Yeah,
and you just got to take your hats off to them.
Exactly. And what Chris mentioned just before you went offline. I don't know if you heard it, but with the whole media thing and social media thing being such a powerful factor in today's time, that when Faf did that whole kicking thing, when it worked, everybody was happy. When it didn't work, everybody lost their minds and went ballistic. And Rassie could have easily caved and bowed down to social. Ray, are you there?
No, sorry.
Yeah, you say, yeah, all right, you're back.
Easily, I mean, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, no, it could have easily happened. And the thing is, Rassie, he showed his credentials. He's a strong character. Yes. He believes in what he does. And that's what a coach has to do. He makes decisions, and he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants out of the players.
Exactly.
And he got those players to be highly intelligent. We were the best, most intelligent team on the field. We gave away the least penalties. We were the best disciplined side. And Siya Kolisi was, he was without a doubt an outstanding captain. The way he carried his team, the way the players played for him, and the rest is history. It was just absolutely quite incredible, and it was lovely to be in Japan and see that live. It was amazing. And a good friend of mine, Gavin Farides, who's chairman of the Rugby Legends, he actually took me along, which I'll always be indebted to him for that. It was amazing.
Yeah. Now we've got a question here from Oom Dani. He's a toppy there out there. He said his Wi-Fi just went and his data is obviously going to run out. So we're going to ask his question quickly. He's like, how did it feel for you to score the tries every time you went over the try line against New Zealand back in '81? I think he's referring to the hat-trick game. How did it feel?
Yeah, look, people always ask me, and this is important, I'll tell you this. Yeah. They always ask me, what is the highlight of your career and of your rugby career? And, I just look back and of course, the mindset, and when we were brought up, it was different. So in my day, we would have paid R1 million to play for the Boks. We would have given it to get that jersey on. Exactly. The mindset is different, and it's right where it is. I think, firstly, for me, the greatest thing that ever happened to me is becoming a Springbok. When Doc Craven put on my Springbok cap with the tassels and gave me my blazer, that was the highlight of my career. And then, of course, playing for the Springboks was, as people say, you're only part of the history. So you're going to have that jersey, and it's up to you if you want to keep that jersey, and you're just going to be part of that number 14, and you got to go out there and continue the history of South Africa. And that time, the head-to-head with the All Blacks, South Africa used to be ahead. Yeah. And, so we were also under a lot of pressure. We were meant to win, and I was very fortunate to play in a great era. Of course, it was unfortunate that we had apartheid, and that was part of the life. That was part of the things then. But I played it with a great bunch of guys. And I played in that era, but scoring those tries, I mean, as you can see, when I scored them, it's very, very different today. You score them and there's no laughter and a big celebration. You put the ball down, and it's for me, it was a serious situation, because I had to get back and do it again. I mean, that's how serious rugby was in those days.
But when you did it, a family used to get together and watch the game or listen to the game. Back then, I remember when I was a laddie, if the rugby was on, if the Boks were playing, or the Lions or the Transvaal was playing, the whole family gets together. We get fraught that day. There's rugby, boetie. And look, I was raised a proper Dutchie, so the rugby was like, it's like religion and fucking fast cars. Everything came together like that. And I think that's missing today is, rugby in certain lifestyles, it's still a family thing. It's that pride, it's that South African pride thing. And I think nowadays a lot of the youth are like, man, screw that, or they're so busy with so much other stuff. I think it's lost that beauty, man.
In South Africa.
I say, yeah.
No, don't worry. It's just the call came through. I just put it off. Right, but in our day, there were not so much TV rights or anything like that. So of course, for a Currie Cup game, almost in every Currie Cup game I played in, it was a full crowd.
Yeah.
But it's changed. There's TV rights, there's money, there's advertising. There's so much going on today, so it's different. But it's just an absolute honor, firstly, to play for South Africa, and a privilege to be part of it, and of course, even to play provincial rugby. You've got to go through club rugby and provincial rugby, because a lot of people always ask me, where was the hardest game that you ever played in? And I told them the hardest games I've ever played in was the Carlton League, in Pretoria.
That was Skopskiet and Dollar back then. You had to be tough.
Because most times you were the only Spingbok in the two sides on the field.
Yeah, and you mocked.
And that guy had been his mar and par, and everyone was there, and he was out to eat the Springbok on the day.
Yeah.
So sometimes we got eaten up there. But
so tell me, Ray, with those club games, do you remember? Because I remember back in the day, the Oaks used to play Gevangenis and the Polisie and all these different clubs, and obviously the army and the police and those guys also had to play. And apparently that was a bloodbath of a show when those Oaks used to play together. Can you tell us more about that? I don't think the youth knows about this, Kaka.
It was very, very tough. Sometimes too dirty. Luckily I was out in the wing, so it was fine. But the linesmen never used to really get involved. You wouldn't have the professional linesman there. The ref would have to see everything. But it was tough, and it was different. The guys could have a go at each other and get away with it. Unless it was blatant and stupid. But look, I think today, because we want our kids to play this game, and it's got to be cleaned up. Moms and dads don't want to. You don't send your child on the field to injure somebody else. You go there and tell them to play hard, and the mentality must to play hard and to try and beat the opposition, but never play dirty. And then if your mindset is to go on there and to make a tackle or to do something silly, then you that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to coach.
And so I think
the professional game, I think, has improved it a lot, because we want our kids and my grandchildren and etc. to play this beautiful game. It's an amazing game. It's got you meet tremendous amount of people. The camaraderie is amazing. Rugby's quite unique when it comes to this, because you go hell and tongs on each other for 80 minutes, and then afterwards you have a beer together.
Exactly.
It's like old school bar fights. Ja, man, dis soos 'n old school bar fight. Julle moer mekaar eers en dan vang julle 'n dop saam en word pelle. Dis wat dit is.
And even these youngsters that play in the World Cup and have played overseas, playing in France, England, Japan, for the rest of their lives, they're going to meet friends, they're going to have colleagues, they're going to, they're going to improve their life knowledge by being over there and mixing with different cultures and different people from different countries. So it's beautiful.
And I think
a beautiful game.
Our South African mentality has changed to, instead of being punchers and brawlers, they just became harder. I saw an interview a couple of days ago with Joe Rokoko, New Zealander. He said that the South Africans were always the hardest to play. They would tackle you to break you. So instead of punching you to pieces, they would just tackle you so hard. But the loveliest people off the field, he said as well in the same sentence. And I think that's where we've grown up into the professional rugby side of it. Instead of hitting you, we just tackle you to make sure you understand you were just tackled by a Dutchman.
That's why I say there's something in the water. We're just physically dominant. Whenever you see a game, we dominate physically every time.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know when you talk to teams like
Kom terug.
Het gaan nou werk. Ek beloof. Have faith. Kom ons bring goeie karma, Whitey.
Ja, al my rugby karma. Want ek wil nog 7 se rugby praat ook.
Is dit?
Ja. Wat ek wil praat daar, soos iemand soos Werner.
Sien, ek wil praat oor hoe hulle mekaar gedonder het en na die tyd as hulle nou 'n paar doppe gevang het en want daai dalk
tande weer terug ingedruk het.
ja, man, ek bedoel daai daai die media was nie waar julle mekaar ontmoet het en as ouens uitgegaan het nie.
There we
Yes. Right.
Yeah, is that all right?
That's
we're back.
100% right.
Can you see
Now we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
good.
you, man. Sorry,
So,
man.
What I was saying, I was fortunate to play against them, and then when you know, the guys, you look at the touring teams that come out here, and they say one of the most beautiful countries to come and tour to play rugby
Yeah.
is South Africa, because the people, the culture, the weather, and everything. But the hardest place to play the game because of the hard grounds, the hard tackling, and to play against the South Africans is very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to work 80 minutes to play against us. Now, before Chris starts asking his questions, because I also want to know these questions, but you also see this physicality in like the sevens team with Werner Kok and those guys.
Are you there?
Yes, we're here, but we
we
can't
are
see you.
still here. We can hear you.
Okay.
We holding. All right. Maar, dude, ek weet jy wat, dis all right. At least gaan ons dit vanaand kan klaarmaak. Dis nie soos wat ons met Woesa.
Nikkie sukkel nie. Nie met
Nee.
Nikkie sukkel nie.
Nee.
Hoorie, ek ruik daai guai van jou hierso of ek ruik incense.
Is
Of
het?
wat doen jy daai Indiër goeters? Incest. Incest.
Ja, incest is
Wat
iets
gaan jy my
heeltemal
huis
anders.
aan? Ja, sorry. Sorry. Sorry vir die hillbillies.
Yeah. Shit. Hier sê. Hy gaan nou connect. Yeah, man. Check his hy gaan nou terug wees.
There we are.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So what I was
Yes.
saying, Ray, is that this our South African Springbok game mentality has gone over to the Blitzbokke as well. Look, they're not the biggest guys, but you look at guys like Werner Kok. He's not a big guy, but he's super fast, but he is as strong as nails. Another Boertjie that can run the 100 meters in, I think it's 10.5 seconds. But if he tackles you, it's like Ibn Etzebeth that tackles you, or Dwayne Vermeulen. He breaks you, he hurts you. But he's also the first guy to, if he sees you're hurt or he tackled you too hard, he's like, sorry, kom ek help jou op. Fuck, who is he? It's all right. You see that respect for a human being, but I'm going to break you.
Yes, the Blitzboks. Oh, they've done us proud, haven't they? I mean, if you
I
look at
love the Blitzboks. I love the
how many
Blitzboks.
series they've won, you know, and Cecil Africa and all these chaps.
Yeah.
They've done us,
Bronco de
they've done
Pria
the country
and those guys.
really proud.
Yeah,
And,
Roscoe Speckman, those boys. I was fortunate enough to last year be at the Cape Town Sevens, and we just lost to New Zealand. We did beat them in the pool games, but we just lost to them by 3 points. It was heartbreaking, but we've got that curse at Cape Town not to beat New Zealand there in Cape Town. But I love sevens rugby so much. It's absolutely amazing.
And once again, you know, I was at a dinner where Neil Powell, the coach, was talking, and it's just tremendous to know the setup they have for our sevens players in Stellenbosch. They've got an incredible setup. It's probably the best in the world. So the structures are put in place, and it's an incredible facility for the players to play at and to learn and to get coached at. So, you know, as some of the players were saying that spoke that night, they said they just want to get out on the field because it's such a beautiful surrounding where they are, and it's the views, and they just want to get on the field. So, you know, there again, some fantastic things happening, you know, with the Blitzbokke and, of course, our setup for sevens-a-side rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hence the results we've been getting. You know, we're always there and thereabout, you know, and we've won a couple of the World Series a few times of the year. Well, they've got the Olympics next year, haven't they? They've got the Olympics.
Yeah, it was going to be now. The Olympics was going to be now, the next month. And I'll try scorer, what's his name? The winger, I lost his name. That scored the second try. Not Joe Applin. What's his name? That scored the second try in the World Cup final.
I can nie 'n klou nie, dude.
How do I lose his... The klein mannetjie.
Wie
Yeah,
val?
of course, but
Nee,
brilliant.
yeah, man, the
that guy.
winger. Now it's going to kill me. Our rugby people are going to watch it and laugh at us.
Wait, you can Google it. Because that's
Chesman
the stuff.
Colby.
Yes, Chester Colby, donkey. Yes,
Yes.
ons is patheties. Wow.
What
Hey,
what
daai man is goed, hè?
Yes, and he was actually gonna play with the Blitzbokke in the Sevens World Cup, and I was so looking forward to it. And this lockdown.
Yeah, no, anyway.
That besides the Kiss concert that was gonna happen now here in Johannesburg that I was gonna miss. The other biggest thing was at the Olympics that Cheslin was going to play in. Those two.
I can only imagine how these players, I mean, some of these schoolboys, they're at their matric year and they've really missed the whole season. It's quite a trauma for them but it is what it is because we have a serious situation with this pandemic. I've been watching quite a bit of New Zealand rugby because I see they've got things under control, and I've been watching their rugby, which is quite incredible to watch. Some
it's rugby. It's rugby. We can watch rugby.
It's rugby, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's look. We just got to be patient. I think we're going to have another 2 months of tough times until we get till the weather starts to get warmer and. Hopefully we'll get control of this virus, and
if we're lucky, it's going to be another 2 months.
Start having a glass of wine again.
Yes, I can't wait.
Let's not go back to that after last night's speech, please.
You know what, Ray? I want to ask you one more serious question, and then I want to chat to you about all the other kakiaks that wasn't on the field. So the first question I want to ask is: do you think that after rugby became a professional game and became very involved with money and stuff, and obviously, the moment money is involved, it becomes a political game for some reason. Do you think it's stunted a bit of the progress we could have had if it wasn't a political thing?
It's a very difficult question, because the thing is, I understand the political side for certain things, but I think what we got to say is we've got to come to a term where we say, right, in 2022, we now, everyone's open, go for the go. The transformation's been done. I think the transformation should be done. It's good that it's been done at some of the schools, at the lower levels, bringing the kids through, but at national level, let everyone just may the best players play,
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think this last Bok team, if you look at the way the guys and all the people mingled and performed, it was all on merit.
Yeah.
So it's lovely, but the politicians must stick to politicians and sort this stuff out, and the sports must get on.
Los ons rugby uit.
Yeah, let's just get on with it and let's play. But there again, guys, we've won 3 World Cups.
Yeah. True.
And I think there's only been 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we've won 50% of the World Cup. So let's just keep going forward and keep producing.
You know what the one thing is? Sorry, man. You know, the one thing that I know rugby's done for South Africa more than anything else in our country is actually brought us together. The one thing, every time the Boks win the World Cup, South Africa is moonshine and roses for a day. It's the most beautiful place on this planet. I don't think anything else in the country's ever brought us together like that.
No, and I agree with you. And I can tell you, all of us people, all of us, all our different cultures, religions, everything, I can tell you, they all get together. I mean, this World Cup, all the World Cups from 95, all of our people follow the team and support the team, which is just absolutely amazing.
So amazing to watch.
When we want to do something and we want to put something together, we can do it. There's one thing about this place, we can do it. That's why I say any team. Now next year we got the British Lions coming, which is going to be fantastic, because that's probably the ultimate for a Springbok now, because we play the All Blacks so often. Playing the British Lions is going to be it's an incredible and all the players are going to want to play it, but it's that's, if you a top player and you're playing for South Africa, that's the game you want to play against those guys. So next year they come into South Africa, they can pick a very good side, because if you look at their players, they've got some incredible players, but
they've got phenomenal players.
it's tough to come to South Africa and beat us here, and I hope our boys, stand up and do the job, because you're going to see the spirit.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to get tickets. Nobody can get tickets. Everyone's phoning me for tickets already. And I said, listen, I don't know where to get tickets.
Yeah.
Apparently, all the British Lions supporters have bought them all.
They're going to bring their bloody army. They must come.
Yeah, and it's going to be incredible because they bring such a lovely atmosphere.
Yeah.
They bring such a spirit here. It's just, you see that wave of red at the games.
Yeah.
It is going to be...
It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal, that's correct.
Yeah.
I can say that I've had the privilege to be at the British and Lions game. I remember it was about 12 years ago. They played the Golden Lions at Ellis Park.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, those opening games before they meet the Springbok. And then I went back to go and watch them play the Springboks. I can't remember. My memory is a bit faded to what happened there, but that was really one of the most incredible games I've ever experienced, because you sit there and it's not a 15 players on the field. That's amazing. It's 30, because you've got the Lions and you've got the Springboks, and it's just it's something else.
Yeah. No, it's a tremendous test series. Tremendous.
Yeah. Now, before I forget, sorry, Chris, I have to.
Hey.
We saw Wayne Smith, your old friend.
Wayne,
saying
yes.
Yeah. He's saying, ask Ray how good the 81 team was, especially Nas. So let's hear it.
No,
That's where it's going to start for Chris.
Listen. Nas, people can say what they like about it, but Nas...
You could
Nas
play the game.
Nas's boss. Nas was just incredible. I mean, people can say he didn't tackle, but when you look at the way he kicked the ball, the way he drop-kicked on running at full pace, he would drop-kick left foot, right foot. His passing ability, he kept his forwards always in front of him.
Yeah, he could read the game.
He could read the game like you can't believe. I remember him playing for Tuckies, and then he had to do his national service. Those days we had to do national service. And he went to the police club. Yeah. And he went to the police club, which is a very ordinary club, and he took that police club to the Carlton Cup final. Can you believe it?
Sure.
Now, Nas was a very special player, and he'll always go down in South African history as one of the greats.
In world history,
But as Wayne said, for me, and I don't mind saying it because I don't compare teams with teams, but I was very fortunate to play with Morne du Plessis as my captain for 10 tests, incredible captain. Yes. And I had Wynand Klaasen also, and Devon Serfontein. And, we had tremendous players in Hempis de Toy, Henry van der Aaswegen, and Sean Povey, Villikat. And then we had the old Louis Mulman, the late Louis Mulman, who was an incredible player. And I was fortunate to play 1 or 2 tests with Kevin de Klerk and Mona van Heerden.
And Donnie Gerber.
Donnie Gerber, well, I was going to get to that back line. People always ask me about the back line, and I said, but as a combination, I'm not saying as individuals, but as a combination in those years, that back line was very special to me. I mean, when you look at Devon, who was highly intelligent, great player, great passer of the ball, and then you had Nas Botha, you had Michael du Plessis or Willie du Plessis, the brothers. Yes. And then you also had Donnie Gerber, and then you had Johan Hennis or Gijsie Pienaar, and you had Gerrie Germeshuis, you had Karel du Plessis. Then you had guys that, so it was an absolute honor and privilege to have played with those guys, and they were all individuals. They were all guys that were called game breakers. Yes, they could do something out of the ordinary, and that's what you want. Someone that could do it, like a Colby. And something out of the ordinary where the game is tight and someone could just do something different. So, you look at the loose forwards in Rob Lowe, Tian Stoffberg. There's so many we can carry on with, but I was very fortunate. I played in a good era. It was just unfortunate that we played at that time of our lives in South African history that things weren't quite right. So
that's on the one hand. Look, that was on the one hand. I think the teams back then we could play every World Cup and win every World Cup. That's how invincible I think us as South Africans were back then on the sports field. We had so much more to prove. I think that's what, if we can go back in time and let's say there wasn't all that other cuck, it would have been so different.
It's changed, Chris and White. It's changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we got to go back and look at it. We used to, and I suppose you can't have it today because there's so much rugby played. But we used to have trials where 8 teams would come down for the week.
Yes.
And play against each other. 8 teams, and one team would be called Donnie Craven, Fritz Elof, or a Jannie Leroux team, and so there would be, and then you would play against each other, and then 2 teams at the end of that day would go home the next day, and so it would be until there's only 4 teams left, and then there would be 7 selectors. That's the secret. 7 selectors from around the country, from each of the top provinces.
Yeah,
and of course, those selectors would sit down and most times they would push for players in their own province, and then it would be selected and the team would be given to the coach. Whereas today, the coach has to say, I mean, it's his team and I can understand why. There's no criticism. Yeah. But I just feel it was very, very hard to be a Bok in the yesteryears. With all those selectors sitting there and after each game, and then before each test match, they used to have SA 15 against the Barbarians 15. So that was the next best 30 players on the field before the test match. So the selectors would sit after the test match, and then they would select the next test for the next week. So you never knew when you were in the team or not. So anyway.
Well, you know what, Ray? That's the rugby talk. Now I want to talk about the kaks you didn't do on the field. I want to talk about. Because obviously now with so many cameras and I know when the boys go out and they go to international stuff, they've got to watch where they go and
who they do and who they punch and what they call
the
people.
Paparazzi and
Yeah, in our day we could do anything.
Exactly. That's what I want to find out, because me and Whitey got some background info about some games where we when the Oaks would finish a game. Obviously, back then, there was honor when you murdered each other. It's not like today, Where was the biggest after fight that you ever had after a Bok game?
No. I must be honest with you. There was no, in my day, I'd never been involved in, with the box.
Yeah.
Never with the box after a game with ever a fight. Never.
And with Wigan? When you were playing with Wigan, how was the English clubs after games and stuff?
No, Wigan was a different place. So I'll never forget you when I went for my first game. Yeah, I sat in the change rooms there. I just arrived like 48 hours before the game. Yeah, and they had to clear the snow off the field to play. Otherwise, the people would come down. The spectators would come down and sweep the ice because they wanted the snow off the fields because they wanted us to play. Wow. I remember in the change rooms, I said to Rob Lowe, Rob wasn't playing that day because Rob was with me. Yeah. And it was my first game. And I said to Rob, I looked at these guys and they all had no teeth. Yeah. And I said to Rob, have you got a gum guard? It looks like this. And that was a different type of person. They were more like, because Wigan was like old coal mining area. Yes. Yeah. So they were tough and hard, and they were playing for money because it was professional. And that is where rugby union, if you go back all the years, a lot of their culture and their passing, their tackling, their defense structures, their passing, their kicking comes from rugby league. Yeah. Yeah. And so rugby union has taken a lot of rugby league stuff out and played it, and maybe to the detriment of the game in a way, because some people say it's very defensive in that. But so it was tough. Wigan was a good experience, but I would never have gone to Wigan if South Africa was still able to play
international games.
But after the games, Chris, it was we used to have some parties. But you had to win. The guys are hard on each other on the field. Yeah. They didn't speak nicely if you miss a tackle or miss it. It was like business, and you got to can't get emotional. You got to get into there and realize that
Yeah.
they're playing for money. So you got to do your job.
Yes.
So
So did
winning
you
was
guys put
everything.
your own bets on the games?
Nah, I've never done that.
Is it? Yes.
I bet on myself, but nobody else. No.
Well, that's great. You were a great thing to bet on. By your stats and
we
everything, you were great.
Yeah, we never did betting in that. But we used to, like, after the games, I must be honest, the guys would love to have, you have a on-call afterwards where you'd have a team meeting, and it would be the players' meeting.
Yes.
And the guys would get together, and it was a bit of team spirits, and the coaches would be invited in.
Yeah.
The coaches would be invited into the thing, but they have no say. It's not their meeting, it's the players' meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
The players would run it, and they'd have a tough committee, and they'd have a lot of fun and have a few downs and talking. I think today you can't have an initiation for the new players, etc. But today it's so professional, and the games are playing one after the other, so you can't have too much alcohol and things like that, especially if you've been injured and bruised. Alcohol wouldn't be a good thing to have straight after a game. So, today it's very much a professional thing. The guys are getting paid a lot of money, so they've got to behave like professionals.
Yeah.
They've got to train like professionals, and they've got to be dedicated, and it's a full-time job,
Exactly.
And they
You know what fascinates me? Yeah, you know what fascinates me, Ray? Is how the Oaks in those days could get it's probably like going 3 or 5 rounds in the ring after a whole game. Go afterwards, go have a couple of dopes and stuff. And most of those old rugby Oaks are still tropping around now. They bulletproof basically. And then you get these young guys that are super fit and they look after themselves and cuck. And before you know it, you hear, after the game, okay, had a problem with his heart or something gave in and cuck. I think they must revert to the old habits, maybe, because you Oaks were way tougher for some reason. I know that the new guys physically, I know, are phenomenally strong and fast and stuff. But the older Oaks were just, man, they were carved differently. The manner is tough, bro.
No, the guys are tough today. Make no mistake, please.
Make no mistake.
The guys are tough today. When you look at the speed of the game and how many hits and rucks, it's tenfold. It's different. But their bodies are conditioned for it. But the guys are very tough today, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for these players, and they've got to be professionals. And if you want to be the best, you've got to put time in on your own as well. You can't just expect your coach to coach you. If you want to be the best and you want to be different, then you've got to do something unique for yourself. You've got to find something out of yourself. Only you can do it. I've always said to my players, or I always learned, I had a mentor. My mentor was a guy called Ian Robertson, who was one of the fittest Springboks ever when he played. He played against All Blacks in 76, fullback and centre. And he played fly half for Rhodesian days. Yeah. He was my mentor, late Ian Robertson, and my best friend and like a brother. And he taught me so much, that dedication and discipline and be prepared for anything. You might lack experience, but you need to be physically prepared, and that physical preparation will give you a mentally strength. So if you're going to play against someone who's got experience and been around, you just got to, and you're a youngster, you've got to be ready. You've got to be ready for that challenge. You've got to say, I want this challenge. I want to feel what it is to play against the best. But be ready. Don't talk about it. You need to be, preparation is everything. And Ian Robertson taught me that. He was a mentor and a disciplined guy, and he was a great guy to follow. And that's what I lived. I think, I don't mind saying it, and I don't like saying but I trained like a professional. Like the guys trained today, I was doing that because it was my life.
It looks like you're still training like a professional. For a guy 1957 born, and I'm looking at your shoulders through the screen, you are still a block of a man. How the hell do you stay in such shape?
No, I've just kept on doing a bit of training and maintenance. Call it maintenance for the old bones. and so I do that. It's become part of my life. I just do it. It becomes part of my life, and I like to try and keep in good condition. But I still enjoy myself. I still like to have a drink here and there. I'm not going to be boring, and I'll eat my ice cream and chocolate. I'm not one of those Mal Oaks, and I love playing golf. So I love training and I enjoy my golf. I'm not playing too well at the moment, but it's just nice to get out. It's my happy place.
I believe you. It's mine too. It's one of mine. It's golf and fishing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Whitey.
Our time has basically run out. Now, I wanted to ask this question a little bit earlier.
Yes.
About this 81 game in Auckland. I can't remember who told me this now. I don't know if it's true or so on, because it was a very controversial game back then with the whole flower bombing nonsense and everything, anti-apartheid. Did you guys have to sleep under not the stadium, the seats, or what, the pavilion? Did you guys have to sleep?
We slept, Whitey, Chris. We for the first test in Christchurch, we went to a little clubhouse. Just not far from the stadium, and we slept there were 2 squash courts. So the forwards, we were on stretchers and mattresses, so we slept in the squash courts.
Sure.
And early morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, to try and get ahead of the Patuagas, the protesters, we left at like 8:30 in the morning to get to the stadium.
Wow.
And then we got to the stadium. We had to lie around, so it wasn't the best way of preparing yourself going to the thing. And then the second test and the second and third test, which is Wellington and Auckland, we slept under the stadium. You you run out from your bed onto the field.
Sure.
We had to go to the change room, but that's how it was. And we had people catering for us and food and snooker tables, but and then we could go to town, but we couldn't go in any Springbok kit. We used to go in our service, but imagine Louis Millman walking in town, everyone recognized Louis.
He's famous, man.
And the New Zealand people were absolutely fantastic and beautiful and amazing people. And I always tell people, they are amazing people. They live and eat and sleep rugby. And it was just a beautiful country to go to, beautiful people, humble. And like South Africans, it was really like South Africans, and sometimes I go and speak to a school, and they're going on tour to New Zealand, and they said, "What's it going to be like?" So I give them, and I said to them, "Listen, you're going to go to the most beautiful country. You're going to meet the most beautiful people. You're going to have an amazing time. But let me tell you, when they get on the field, they change.
Then it's on.
They become arrogant, and they believe they're the best, and there's nothing wrong with that."
No,
arrogance. All your players, arrogance is a wonderful thing to have.
Yes,
but it's not something to talk about or to swear about. Arrogance. You want your player to go on that field and to be arrogant and take charge of his position.
Yes,
and take charge of his opposition. So, nothing wrong to be arrogant. You must have that arrogance. Go on there, make it happen, but not in swearing and shouting and talking. In the way you play.
Yes.
Performance.
Be dominant in your position.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
They're another animal, and so I warned them. I said, be careful, because you're going to have a nice time. You're going to meet them before the game, and after the game, they're going to be nice. But on that field, you're not going to recognize them. So do the same. Get ready.
You know what? This hour has moved so bloody quick. We've got to tell you, man, from the SA Bro side, thank you so much for giving us your time. And thank you for blessing South Africa with Ray Mordt, one of the greatest players ever to walk this planet, and all-round nice guy. Bless him. You know what? My father's in the hospital at this moment, not for COVID. He had some accident at work or something, and hopefully he's okay. But I know he's going to be totally jealous that I could speak to Ray Mordt, and he couldn't. But just for giving us your time, and you know what, for giving South Africa all the times that you have given us,
Thank
you so much, Ray. We really appreciate it.
Chris and Whitey, I thank you guys. I love my country. I thank South Africa, and stay safe. Love you guys.
We will. Thank you very much, Ray. Cheers, man.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Wat 'n lekker interview.
Fucking Ray Mordt, bro.
Ja.
Holy shit, Whitey, jy blaas my weg elke keer. Honestly, ek moet vir jou big ups gee, dude. Jy's freaking amazing, man.
Vir wat?
Vir die guests wat jy organise is net dit blows my mind, dude. Dit is genuine.
Dis lekker om met sulke mense te praat, nee. Nou kom, jy weet daai gees en daai opgewondenheid wat jy het. Liz het my mooi gevra ek moet gou hierdie foto share. Maar onthou jy daai dag? Onthou jy daai dag?
Ons Jessie.
Net na die final toe ons gewen het. Het jy het gespeel daai dag, né?
Ja, ek dink ek het daar by Same Shack gejam, man.
Okay. Maar dan daai dag, yes. En toe gaan
Thank you Susan Melly.
En dankie Susan.
Sy sê so ons het 'n excellent lekker interview, guys. Thank you Susan. You know what? Check all the other interviews. We've interviewed some very interesting characters and
while we still sorry Chris, while we have them here, guys, to all the new people, please like and subscribe.
If you're
this
on
is how
YouTube,
you're going to see
do this,
this
please.
is how you're going to see the new brilliant interviews like this. Thank you for all the new guys that came through to watch.
Every weekday we've got a new guest, a new somebody, and if
Thanks,
it's not
Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne. And every other day, if it's not a new guest, me and Whitey will be doing some crazy bro stuff. And but it's almost Women's Month, and we've already started like doing special stuff for our broettes. So even in our intros and on our posters and stuff, we pay tribute to our ladies, the broettes.
Yeah, our broettes. But but that we'll talk about a little bit. But now, just guys, tomorrow night is a serious one. Let me just bring it up on screen quickly.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, guys.
Yeah.
Last
week we had Dr. Nicola Rain. She's told us about the physical impact and the medical stuff. Now with Dr. Stones, we are going to be talking about the psychological stuff that this lockdown's doing to us, and stuff you won't think of. Sorry, Whitey, what's here?
Yeah. Like Chris says, stuff you won't think of, and we want you guys because I've had a lot of people ask me. I won't mention names or anything. We'll keep it private. Ask me, listen, please, can you get a psychologist on the show? Because there's a lot of people that are stuck home alone and who hasn't seen another soul in 4 months, except the people at the shops and so on. And that's got it to them. And you and I have been fortunate with this SA Bros thing. All my attention is on this. So time is going so fast because this program is keeping us busy and entertained. And
you
so
guys are keeping us.
Yes.
There's one reason we do this is for you. We could have had bras with these oaks, but we'd rather sit here and do this with you guys. And you know what? I love doing this. I love you guys more than friends because you guys have kept me and Whitey sane. And we've got to say thank you. But I know it has taken its toll. Whitey, I know there's so many guys just, I don't know, hanging themselves and killing themselves and bad news stuff, man. So, what?
And we hope that our show has bringing you a little bit of a ray of sunlight into your life. But if you didn't see the video we made earlier today, ek het daai sin heeltemal opgemors. If you've got beautiful. Is die kak wat ons praat wat gebeur. But guys, if you've got Chris or my cell phone number, please send us your questions, video questions if possible, because we like to interact more with you. If you feel uncomfortable doing it, just send your questions to our email address.
Whitey will put that in now for you guys. I can see.
So we've got the time with him, and you guys know he's told me he's been working non-stop. It's been so difficult. He's been seeing people. He works till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, wow, that is insane. So he's taken some time out to chat to us. And psychologists, it's normally a very expensive thing. So guys, don't hold back. Don't hold back. If you've got a question, don't feel like it's shame. People are going to laugh at me. We are here. We're a family. Let's ask this man the questions.
Plus, you know what, dude? It's not just the lockdown. It's the implications of everything the lockdown's done.
Financially, the booze, the cigarettes, everything.
Money, rent. Some guys
people
can't buy
losing their houses, their cars, their businesses. A friend of mine, a friend of ours, actually, who just lost his restaurant, a very, very nice place at Palm Court, Dieter, with the Met and Grill. I feel so sorry and
Dude,
and
my hart is
it's-
gebreek vir daai ouwe.
I heard rumors of what he's doing now, but I'm not going to mention it on air now.
Well, yeah, but
It's so sad. So guys, please take the time.
see you tomorrow.
the
We
time.
love you.
We
Look
love
after
you.
each other. Fucking
Prepare
love
your
yourself.
questions, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Laters.
Cheers.
Bye.
Well, goodbye, everybody. From SA Bro.